Welcome to the Mad's Table, episode 167. Today, brought to you by Songs of Innocence, the album by U2 that was non-consensually downloaded onto our Apple devices in a, ironically, more innocent age. Now, if you would like to know all of my deep musings about this and the way it personally victimized Brendan Proal, please log on to our Discord, where he, I believe, is offering a bounty for the head of Bono? Anyway, we'll find out later.
And Tim Cook. Everyone's on watch.
Yeah, actually, I heard if you go onto our Patreon and donate there and to our coffee page, which is spelled KOFI, Will is attempting to resurrect Steve Jobs so he can kill him again?
Oh shit,
I mean,
Luigi Mangione just donated. Hey, what's up, my
yeah.
guy?
Yeah, who's got those prison bucks? My man.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, crazy kids. And if you're having a great time, enjoy the pod, tell a friend, or, and this is a threat, I will have Apple download this podcast, every single gosh darn episode onto every iPhone in the world. And then you have to explain to your grandmother all the things that I'm going to say in this podcast. That I was going to try to think of the most deranged thing that's ever been said, but there are things that Brendan has said in this podcast that I simply cannot say out loud.
I was going to say, give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes and I'll prove your point for you.
Speaking of which, we're currently in mental combat with Demon Lord. Hey, Will, let's get to the depravity.
Thank you. I think the greatest thing about this podcast is we will all go down in history with it as being the podcast that sunk Apple.
Yeah.
And I'm so looking forward to the day. So last time you guys kind of were down in the dumps and not feeling so good about prison. And then Lara was like, hey, yo, I'm going to get help. And like 50% of that plan seems to have worked. But now she's making sneaky sneaks in handcuffs to try and get to Sekarak without causing more trouble. We'll see how that goes. Sephel's like, nobody's real. Nothing's real. Life is an illusion. And Scylla's just like, I murdered a child. I am a monster. And Indigo's like, fuck this shit. Breaks out of his cell and now finds himself in a hall with no doors. Indigo, what do you do? I put him on the spot as he's chewing. So
Yeah,
I'm so
he's
sorry. Brendan, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the wild thing is Scylla probably has the most appropriate response to everything that's gone on.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
You might be, but I'm Indigo Honeydew, baby. Ah, beans. As I stare down this, it's just like brick wall right in my face.
Yeah, it just seems like the stones that comprise this entire area it just keeps going.
What's the other direction?
Just continues on in the other direction.
Scylla, Sephel, you guys around here?
Do we hear him?
What do we see?
You hear him call out. You don't see him unless you go looking through the bars.
Sephel.
Yeah, Scylla's not doing
All you gotta do is look, and they're like, fuck that noise. Nuh-uh.
Well,
that. Okay, let me say this. If Indigo if Indigo is saying, Sephel, Scylla, you there? She's not gonna look. If Indigo starts to sound worried or in danger, she will look.
Okay. I was just gonna say, you don't have to explain yourself. Enough said.
I just don't want to feel like I'm a bad
real
friend.
judgy from that screen over there, man.
Yeah, beans. I'd like to take a walk into the infinite corridor of nothing, perhaps?
Okay, you start walking. And make me a perception check.
It's one of the ones I'm good at.
What was that sound?
Visceral excitement. Is that not what you sound like? 25.
You hear something small and soft hit the ground behind you.
I will do like a dramatic chipmunk look behind me.
You look for a moment, and then your eye is drawn to the ground as you see a red kidney bean has landed on the ground. And then you hear a and you look back and just beans are starting to fall from the ceiling and fill up all the space, and they're coming down faster and faster and seeming to fill up this hallway. What do you do?
I run for the beans.
You start running, and you're like, it's like running through a ball pit now. They're just pouring down faster on you, hitting you in the face, just until eventually you're just like crawling through them. You're just trying to swim through them. What do you do?
I think somewhere deep in his super ego, Indigo's like, this doesn't make a whole lot of... Oh, that's right. I'm going to think about a bean umbrella to see
Nothing
if my
happens.
mental acuity can affect the realm.
Nothing happens, and the beans continue to rain down and swallow you up.
Are they cooked beans or dry beans?
Dry beans.
Ooh, that feels nice. I would like to attempt to... Ow, what the... This... stupid demon lord. Beans. No beans.
It's now up to your, like, shoulders.
No beans!
Your
Screams.
wails and echoes as it continues to fill up, and you can feel them like you're being pushed up. It's like you're beginning to drown, like you're in a sunken ship. Your hands come up to the ceiling as you're being lifted up. They're crushing in around your face. They're starting to fill into your mouth, plug up into your nose. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Let's go, cleric boy. Dirty 20.
It's not enough. Let's go on our magic roller here. You take 33 points of damage.
What?
I got 33 points of bean damage?
Ripperoni.
Damage.
Damn.
And as you feel life ebb away from you, you find yourself back in your cell.
Are there any beans?
There's no beans. You just stand in the midst of your cell. The door locked. Everything seems the same. Can you make me a sanity check, please?
I would love to. Is that going to be based on sanity score, or is this tied to a saving throw?
Sanity score. Yep.
$13.
It's not enough. Roll me a D100, please.
$49.
I'm going to send you a message as to what starts to come over you.
No.
What's going on with Sephel or Scylla?
Sephel is aware that he has magic available to him. And I think he's smart enough to know, how spell casting works for wizards. He knows that he has magic available as long as it doesn't require a material. And he had memorized it that morning. And he's aware that some of that magic is teleportation. So he's sitting, trying to think of anyone or anywhere that he thinks might be trustworthy or safe to go. Would you allow me to roll some sort of save or like will, insight, whatever? Does Sephel believe that he might be able to trust Sekarak, given the information that they received in the previous days from, or previous literal, I guess, hour, from their different spells?
I don't think that's a roll. I think that's a choice. I think that is a you choice, whether or not you trust them or not.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I think that's
you.
Purely a you character
if,
choice.
If you're going to allow the character, I respect that. I would say because they checked specifically on Sekarak before all of this shit started, like when they were doing their original, when they put the feelers out of like who is trustworthy in this town, they asked about Sekarak and they received the information that he was not compromised. There's a part of Sephel that wonders if he can trust that, but that's all he has. So he's going to cast teleport and try to get into Sekarak's tower.
All right, you reappear on the teleportation circle of Sekarak's tower. There's nobody about, but you're in the room. You can see through the old ruined wall to the city beyond. You hear the comings and goings of the Myconids down in the laboratory below. What do you do?
He's going to call through the tower. Sekarak, if you can hear me, come to the circle.
A few minutes pass, but shortly after your call, you begin to hear footsteps coming up the tower stairs.
Sephel is going to... So he hears steps from the stairs. He says, "Don't come into the room. I don't want to see you."
Okay.
Tell
The footsteps stop, but you hear Sekarak's voice and goes, "Sephel? What is the matter?"
I need you to tell me something that a demon lord would not know. That only you and a previous me would know.
Very well. You are from the city of Nox or Nix? It's one of the two. You didn't talk of it often. There was a school there. You were the dean for many years. You're over 1,000 years old. You've got the teleportation in the old smithies.
Okay,
you know, I like Chardonnay
Enough.
and good-looking human men. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's
Come in.
besides the point.
That's fine. Come in.
And Ian McKellen is my idol. Anyways.
Anybody could know that.
I'm sorry, it's a dead giveaway. The posters all over the walls, I know. But Sekarak comes up. staff in hand, robes. He looks exactly the same as you last saw him.
Okay.
What
Sephel
is going on with you?
The demon lord, throes Blue, has infiltrated the city. I have been infected. I cannot tell what is real. We killed children. We didn't do it, but we did it. I don't know what is real.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use my inspiration. Uh, 18.
You say all this to him, and he's like, all right, slow down. And he comes over to you, and he puts his hands on your shoulder. He leans his staff against the table where you guys have sat many times over many years. Puts his hands upon your shoulders. And he's probably reaching up now, because you're a fucking Orog. He's just like, it's going to be all right. Just breathe. I'm here to help. Where are the others? And where are your robes?
There is a version of Indigo and Scylla in the prison of the Temple of Bahamut, but I cannot trust that they are real.
What do you mean, version? What do you mean you can't trust that they are real?
I cannot trust it is them. I know what I saw. I was chasing a murderer through the streets. I caught him. I fought with him. I struggled for minutes. I knew what I saw, and as soon as he was gone, he was a child.
Sephel, calm down. I need you to calm down. I am real. I'm sure they are real. I'm not sure exactly what you're going through, but I need you to calm down. This anger that you feel, this rage, it's not going to help anyone. Please, calm yourself.
I don't know where throes Blue is, but when we were in Grim Hollow.
No, not Grim Hollow. What was the
library?
Name of the
Graven
library.
Hollow.
Graven Hollow, thank you.
We were in Graven Hollow. I remember we checked in on all of the demon lords who had made their way to the material plane, and throes Blue, the demon lord of illusions, of deception, he exists within a gem, a rock. I can't remember it clearly, but he twists minds, he bends reality. I don't know what is real and what is not, and I can only assume that is what has been happening in the city with these murders. He drives people mad to do things that they don't know they are doing. I don't know how to stop it.
Can you make an insight check for me?
Okay. Not fantastic. 13.
Okay. You've been saying this, and like in my head, and correct me if I'm wrong, I can picture Sephel like pacing about this room as he's like, railing all of this out and looking towards Sekarak, just like, come on, man. Get with me here.
He's like holding his head. He has to like blink and shake every once in a while because he's convinced that when he does, his whole the scenery is going to change. Like he probably stops periodically and is like, I need making sure that everything is the same as it was in the last 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Sekarak comes over to you and stops you in your frantic kind of motions and movements here, and he goes, Hold on. I want you to just stay here for a moment. I think you're feeling just a great deal of... I think you're exhausted, Sephel. I'm not discrediting what you've said, but I think now is what you need now is to sleep. And I think that will greatly help you clear your mind, and I will look into what has happened. Yes, I will look for the influence of Frazo Blue. I will see to it that Scylla and Indigo are released. Perhaps I can even find Lara, wherever she may be, because it doesn't sound like she was brought to the temple. And I'm sure with a few words to Hacklow and some words to the king, we can get this all cleared up. Please, just wait here a moment. I'll fetch you some tea. And with your
because
insight...
I'm neurotic. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, tell me.
No, I'm hyper-analyzing it, so I know he would. Is there anything he said in that whole thing that seemed out of character, or did he use any information that Sekarak would not know?
I'm going to tie this into your insight check.
Okay, alright. I assumed so.
It doesn't... He hasn't said anything that's, like, made you think ill of him. However, the way he was like, I'm going to fetch you some tea, and the way in which he is, like, approached you and is seemingly, like, backing away makes you think that, like, this is the point where you're like, this isn't right. What's he about to do? Because he looks scared of me. You think he's nervous, and for whatever reason, something about him going to get this tea doesn't seem to sit right with you, but he doesn't seem offensive in any way. But he's, like, beginning to back away. He's like, be right back with some good chamomile. Or, what was your favorite? It's been a while since we've sat and had tea. I'll just bring up the box, and you can choose which one you would like. How's that?
You have known me longer than I have known myself. Why are you pulling away from me?
I'm just going to get you tea. I don't understand. Why are you getting upset with me? Sephel, I'm simply trying to help you calm your nerves. You're clearly neurotic right now. I don't understand why you're getting upset with me. Why can't I get you tea? Sure, I might have known you for a few centuries, but that doesn't mean your tastes could change. I mean, you're in the body of an Orog. That's not even something I've felt. I don't know how their taste buds work in comparison.
This is a big fucking gamble.
Sephel?
Just checking something very quickly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to cast Pulse Wave at Sekarak.
Okay. All right. What do I got to do? Or do I do nothing and I just get hit?
No, you make a con save if you want to take half damage.
That's bad. That's an 8.
So that's a fail.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to take the full brunt of 9d6 force damage.
Woo!
Which I will roll on roll 20.
Okay.
So he takes 35 points of force damage.
Yowie.
Damn.
And he is thrown 15 feet across the room.
Okay. You describe to me how you take this action and you cast Force Wave.
I just imagine that little seed of mistrust has been planted, and he gets very, why don't you sound like you believe me? with all of the things that we've solved, all of the conversations we've had, you're not even considering this. Like, you're not putting any thought into this. You think I'm crazy. And I imagine there's, that's going through his brain, and he's doing more blinking and head shaking and trying to, and now he doesn't recognize his trusted companion when he refocuses himself. And in that moment of Sekarak trying to defend or explain himself, I imagine he might take one or two too many steps forward. And Sephel panics and puts his hand out, and the full force of his graviturgy magic blows across the room.
I imagine Sekarak was maybe only 5 or so feet away from you by the time you stand up and you kind of close some distance and you put your fist out, and he goes, Sephel, please, what are you doing? And he gets thrown back. And the thing about this wave is that he was making his way to the stairs. And so he gets hit and he gets thrown 15 feet back, you said?
Yeah.
You see him go sailing into the open space to the steep staircase that lead downwards. You see him begin to fall, and he hits the side wall. He takes the 35 points of damage. He hits the wall, and and then he goes bouncing off, hitting the stairs and collapsing into the floor below, where you just hear the clatter of wood and potion bottles. And you hear, like, the small movements of myconid footprints, and you can hear the, like, of the spurting of spores. But after all of the commotion and all of the noise, you don't hear anything.
I'm going to go to the edge of the staircase and look down.
You go to the edge of the staircase, and these are steep. If you remember, this tower's pretty tall, and there's only 3 floors, so there's a lot of space as these stairs are open-ended, and they just go up along the wall. But you look down, and you see the horribly twisted and mangled form and glass-like pierced form of Sekarak in a pool of all sorts of chemicals and blood down below, and you see all these small myconids standing around him, and then they all look up at you. And then we hear more footsteps coming from the floor below, and you see Vlad, and he looks at Sekarak's body, and he's confused and stunned, and then he looks up, and then he sees you. What do you do? Actually, first, let's roll a fucking sanity check.
Again?
Because you just killed your oldest friend.
Yo, what's up with that, dog?
The dude is a whole dragon. Okay. $16. I don't even know why we roll these anymore. Like, the modifiers just aren't there anymore.
You pass, actually.
Okay.
You manage to keep your composure for the moment. But what do you do? Because Vlad's looking up at you, and his mouth is just agape. He's just like, what? What did you do?
How far down the stairs is
everybody?
Yeah.
It's like 80 feet. You can see tears beginning to well up in Vlad's eyes, and he's like slowly making his way towards the body of Sekarak.
You had said that Sekarak had leaned his staff against the wall or a table.
The
Upstairs,
table that
right?
you had been seated at for a moment, yeah. Still there.
Sephel looks for too long and then turns, blank stare, walks across the room, picks up the staff, and
You hear Vlad calling after you, Sephel! Sephel! And you can hear him moving down below. It sounds like he might be starting to make his way up the stairs. We'll cut away to Scylla for the moment while you think about what you want to do next.
Oh, this will be quick.
All right, Scylla, what's going on with you?
No, Scylla is systematically going through every mistake she's ever made in her entire life. She is laying on the floor thinking about her childhood in the Coral City and about how she was a complete and utter failure as a child, which resulted in her being put through extensive training in order to be proficient in something that she was not instinctually good at. And the fact that her parents didn't really even, care about her as a person. They really just wanted her to be a warrior they could be proud of. And the fact that she had to work so hard in order to be exactly what they would be proud of, only to end up here, lying on her back in a prison cell after murdering an innocent. And as she thinks through every moment of her life, and then she relives in excruciating detail the seconds of the Dagon attack on Coral City. And then she thinks through all the demon lords that she's fought with Indigo and Sephel, Seuss. And then she just continues to lay there, and then she sees something to her right as she stares at the ceiling, and she, without moving anything but her head, she just kind of turns her head to the right. And laying next to her is the innocent whose face she pulverized. And she lays there.
So you just see the body of the child there?
Mm-hmm.
Your head pans to the right. And I can picture it like a movie scene, and you're just looking over, and there's the girl's face as it was smashed after you punched her. And she is facing you, and you are a hand's breadth away from each other, shoulder to shoulder, just looking into each other's eyes. Hers bloodshot and mangled, and you looking straight back into it. And then you hear what sounds like wet footsteps coming from the hall behind you, what would be considered above your head.
She continues to look at the girl. If those footsteps come to her cell, then she might glance up.
Important question, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Who is more important out of Scylla's parents to her? Or which one gave her the most trouble? Or was it equal?
Her mother was slightly more caring, but her father pushed her to become the warrior she is.
So the dad's kind of the antagonistic one.
For sure.
Okay. We haven't done this in so long, but I'm so curious. If you had to put an actor as Scylla's dad, who would it be?
Oh God, I'm on the spot.
I mean, we can cut.
Who's that guy? I think we talked about him on the podcast before.
We've talked
You
about
give
many.
literally anything, any details at all, Sam.
I can
film,
see his
a
face
description.
in my mind.
That is
Divorce.
good. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
he is-
Brendan cast telepathy or whatever it is.
Okay, let's see
I
if
got
we can do
nothing.
this as a group here. He is white.
Whoa.
Narrowed
Stubble.
it down so
Yeah.
far.
I see his
Did you say
stubbly.
stubble?
I'm seeing
Okay,
stubbly
okay.
a stubble face. I think he has a British accent. He's. I
Okay.
could be wrong there. I think he's 40s, 50s.
Can you
Strong.
give a movie?
Strong chin. I cannot. Lighter hair.
It's still a lot of
Garen
guys.
Skarsgård.
No.
Oh my god.
Older.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes, that's him.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, your dad's my butler?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why we were talking
Yeah,
about it.
remember when
I
you
can't
remember
pick
every
him.
time you messaged him or mentioned
Well, I
him?
never
thinking
actually
about...
knew who he was. Okay, I can't pick him. Then.
Can Can I be honest? The person who I had in my head was Tommy Lee Jones,
I'm gonna
but
look
I
him
know
up.
that's not
He's not buff enough.
not buff enough. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
he's too
He's got the disappointment of a father, but not the
exactly. We need
Yes.
we need.
Have you seen him when he was young and he was
Yeah.
buff? What is it,
No.
Harrison Ford then?
No, Tommy Lee Jones
No.
is middle-aged Sephel, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And by middle-aged, I mean 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on.
It's the
I got
last
this,
time
I got
he
this, I got
felt
this.
young.
She's just Googling 40 to 50-year-old.
Yeah,
male
she's just
actors.
white male
man.
British actors.
Mark Strong. The guy who played
Jason
Darcy.
Statham.
Jason Statham.
La-
I could see it though. Oh God.
Who the fuck is this?
I wish
This
I could do
kinda-
his voice.
This is the guy. Who is this
Well,
man?
love,
I don't even know who this
Looks
is.
like you fucked up again. Looks like you need a handyman of sorts.
You'll never
Come
be a
get you
fucking warrior.
Look at
Remember
you.
that time I was in the Fast and Furious movies? That airplane scene was really fucking weird, isn't it?
And now look at me. I'm a beekeeper.
I'm a beekeeper.
That is this is okay, sorry, I got bad news saying we have to keep all of this in. Because this
You failed
As
to
we can
save
see-
me from Dagon, so I had to find myself a new life on the surface as a beekeeper. Using my martial powers to
Hold
kick
on now.
ass.
What the fuck's his name?
That
Will,
guy.
Will, you're gonna be upset at me. McDougal in Outlander.
Oh shit! Yes.
I can't think of the actor's name. I literally just saw him, not physically, but I saw a thing 2 days ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wasn't he? He's also in Game of Thrones.
Yes, he is. Dougal
Graham
Mackenzie-
McTavish.
Graham
Yeah,
McTavish.
Graham
thank
McTavish.
you.
Oh yeah.
That's the guy. That's the
Fuck
guy.
yeah. Great
That's cool as hell.
actor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
My man Crush
That
Monday.
guy.
Damn, he was so fucking good in
Just-
Castlevania.
Yep. Yeah, I forgot he was fucking Dracula.
Yeah. Highly recommend anybody go watch that. He kills it.
He was
in
fucking Dracula. That's
Yes. He
I
he was
wish.
fucking Dracula and also Dracula.
Oh,
He
got it.
fucked himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much of
It's so
that
funny.
anime is just violent masturbation. They don't warn you.
You have a disease.
I can't.
Sick bastard. I love it so
Oh
much.
my god.
hope
you keep
this in the podcast.
We can't keep this in the
Yes,
podcast.
we absolutely
for my
can.
mother.
And
Can't.
you
It's already explicit.
what the fuck is the explicit button for if not these particular moments? And I'm sorry.
Like a lot of different
I'm
stuff.
sorry.
You
If
apologize to my mother right now.
I'm sorry, Wendy, but if you don't know what I'm about yet, I don't know why you're still listening.
I can't.
10 out of 10. What can I say? It's good stuff.
Highly recommend
Podcast. Yeah. Yeah, that's a ringing endorsement.
Not so much this podcast.
Yeah. I cannot, in good faith and conscience, recommend this podcast.
I would love to tell you to watch this podcast. I cannot promote.
I actually just can't, legally speaking, I can't recommend this podcast.
It's like the command spell. Or the suggestion spell. I can't tell you to do something that will cause you harm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. So, Will, thank you for asking. My favorite.
I can't.
Holy shit.
The answer is Dougal no, that's not his real name. Graham McTavish.
Graham McTavish.
Yeah.
We see, followed by the wet footsteps sound, a Triton version of Graham McTavish of Castlevania appear in front of your cell door. And he doesn't look right. Looks like half of his body has been bitten through by something. Very wounded, very walking corpse, zombie-esque. But he appears in front of your cell door, and God, I wish I had this gravitas and suave fucking sound of this guy's voice right now, but he's... Look at you. Once again in the gutter with the trash. How much did I have to beat it into you that you were above it all? Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Why couldn't you have gone above your baser instincts? You had all of it. What didn't we give you? What did we not coddle you enough? What was it, Scylla? What led you down this path of murder?
I have always tried. But along this path I have. And I think she is staring him dead in the eyes. I have never been good enough. And I think I've accepted it. Leave me be.
You came close so many times. Every moment I began to feel proud of you. I'd see the facade break. I see your little fingers pluck something else from someone. Why couldn't you keep your fingers to yourself? Even amongst your friends, you've taken from them.
As he is speaking, she is muttering softly to herself. There was nothing I could do. There was so much. There was just nothing here. I did everything that I could. There was nothing. I tried so. There was, and she's just speaking under her breath, over and over and over again, trying not to listen to him.
Absolutely. He grabs the bars and rattles them, and he's like, "Listen to me!"
She squeezes her eyes shut, and now she's trying so hard not to hear it, and just she's talking even louder to drown him out. I did everything that I could. There was so much happening. I didn't see it happen.
And I think as Scylla's saying this to herself over and over and over, and her father is continuing to yell at her, you feel these small set of hands press over yours and bring them up to your ears so that you can't really hear your father's yelling at you. What do you do?
She her eyes are like squeezed shut, and she feels that like happen, and she does put them over her ears, and then like slowly, because she can't hear him anymore, she like stops. She like slows down in what she's saying, and then pretty soon she stops and she opens her eyes. Does she still feel it?
Yep, you can still feel the hands on top of yours, and you can still hear like the muffledness of your father yelling. But you open your eyes, and it's the dead little girl who has her hands clamped
Fucking
over
brutal,
yours.
man.
And her crushed face, like her mouth opens, and just like blood begins to flow out. But she's like, "I'll help you." And I need you to make a sanity check for me.
No. I don't even know why I bother, man. That's a 6.
Okay. Roll me a D100, please.
47.
Okay. This is very fitting for what you've kind of already been doing, but seeing this girl, this dead girl, hold your hands over yours so you can't hear your screaming father, the fact that your dead father is yelling at you from outside of your cell, you just begin to babble completely incoherently and rock in your cell.
Yeah.
Indigo, what's going on with you, bud?
Oh, wow. That's a lot of beans. Indigo just kind of like lounged out on his like cell bench. Oh, man. A lot of beans. Just a lot of beans. Just kind of languidly looking around. Can you go for some beans? That'd be nice.
You hear a door being unlocked, and because you're the first cell, you actually see the doorway that Torvid had gone out of open, and a new figure steps in, a new kobold dressed in platinum talon attire steps in, and he is holding a tray in which you can see that there is a smaller steaming bowl of something in it. And he shuts the door, comes over to your cell, and slowly pushes, like bends down and takes the cup and puts it through the bars into your cell. And then moves to open up the door, and you watch as he retrieves 2 more trays, and then seems to be walking down towards the other cells.
Indigo's going like, careful! Careful! There's beans over there. They might fall from the ceiling again, crush you to death. So you're gonna want to be careful about the beans.
He's stopped, and he's like right at the edge of your line of sight from your cell, and he looks back at you and goes, there's no beans. What are you talking about?
No. The beans are anywhere around here, and also there's nothing outside that door, so I would be pretty careful going that way. Yeah, just watch out for the wall too. Oh, hot man, so much to watch out for. So much to watch out for.
There's beans in this soup. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, that's what they want you to focus on, but there's a lot of other beans too, and they'll crush you to death. Yeah, that's a lot of beans.
Are you okay?
I'm just waiting on my computation of time served. Just ready to get out of here. Watch out for the beans, though, because can't enjoy my freedom and saving the realm if I'm crushed to death by beans.
That's when you hear another voice, and you hear it go, "Private!" And you see the young kobold, like, whip around, almost drops his trays with the bowls of soup, and your head snaps back to the main door, in which you see a taller, dark gray kobold. He goes, "Don't talk with that prisoner. Go drop the bowls and come back." And the other one nods his head, and he runs down the hall and puts the bowls down, and he runs back. And he steps around the dark gray kobold, and that kobold comes over to your cell and goes, "I don't know why you always think you're gonna go off and save the realm. You're not going anywhere. You've known this for a very long time, Mr. Honeydew. This is your home now."
My home?
"Yes, and it has been for the last 50 years, and he pulls a clipboard from behind his back, and he goes, "Yes, incarcerated for the murder of 13 here within the city of Ember."
Are you getting Shawshanked right now?
I didn't do that.
The last one, we believe you had some kind of psychotic break, the guilt eating you up, and therefore you brought your last victim, Miss Isolde. Yes, a recent refugee from Blingdenstone. You stabbed her a good deal, many times, and then brought her body here, where you could be found.
Nope. Nooperino.
It says here that you later confessed to the 12 other murders, many of which included men, women, other women, children, a string of livestock, which the city decided was not worth commuting as part of your sentence. But you have been serving here for the last 50 years, Mr. Honeydew, and you will serve the rest of your remaining life here. Though it does look like you could use a shave and a haircut. We don't want you looking too scraggly now, I guess. And you feel this.
My face.
There's this
Touch my face.
long, gnarled white and gray beard. And your hair. Think Castaway. Tom Hanks Castaway. Like, that's what you look like. That's how you feel.
The beans. You gotta watch out for the beans.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll watch out for the beans. Though it does seem the warden, Mr. Icklo, has decided that you are to be permitted either some type of gaming set or other books or anything of the like that might entertain you. Anything come to mind?
I'd love a book. I haven't had anything to read or to write in years. Oh, yes. A book would be grand. Do you have a natural history of fungi? Oh.
I'll see what we have. And he turns to leave. And a little while later, he comes back and tosses through the slots through the bars 2 books. And you hear the clatter as a charcoal pencil gets tossed in as well. One is an empty notebook, and one being a fungal encyclopedia of the Underdark.
I like Indigo just like picks up the fungal history and looks for something he knows and begins to kind of sketch it from description and memory into the empty notebook.
You've gone through a few drawings now as the hours pass by. And at one point you're kind of looking at the book and then looking back into the notebook and looking back at the book, and then you feel a prick. You look down and you see a well of blood on your finger. Somehow you pricked yourself, and there's a big drop of blood in the middle of your sketch.
I smear it across like a watercolor to add colors to the scene.
As you do that, you smear your finger across, but it's like the blood keeps coming from your finger. It just seems to pool darker and darker.
I turn to a new page and I start finger painting with my own blood.
Jesus.
You keep finger painting. And what are you finger painting?
I feel like I start doing another mushroom, and then it's becoming a picture of Lara, and now it's a tentacled Sephel, and then it's the fishy Scylla, and then again he's matriculating it, and there's the Orog Sephel, and there's just like face after face after face after face.
And as you do face after face after face, your blood just seemingly never stopping to run. You find yourself on the last page drawing yourself and cataloging yourself like you would any other specimen found in the wild. And as you continue to go back and do more details of yourself, all of a sudden you slide forward on the page. And then you keep seeming to slide, and you watch in horror as your arm is beginning to get absorbed into the page, and your body inexplicably keeps getting folded in, and you can see it. Your hand that is coming through is now forming into ink. You are becoming your drawing. Roll me a sanity check, please.
Okie dokie. Yeah. Back on target. That's a 4.
Okay. As Scylla weeps and babbles incoherently, and Indigo becomes his own diagram, can you both make wisdom saving throws for me, please?
4.
Fail.
28.
Pass. You, Scylla, take 31 points of damage.
Ooh.
You, Indigo, take 15 points of damage as your minds continue to just reel.
Indigo is unconscious if this is one scene from our past.
Okay. Indigo fully succumbs to darkness as he's transported into the notebook, which lands on the bottom of his cell with a flop. Lara, you've managed to make your way almost to the base of Sekarak's tower. You're still manacled. You see the base. There's no commotion. Nobody seems to be following you. A couple Myconids have walked by but paid you no real attention. What do you do as you grow closer?
She is trying to get inside the tower, like, immediately.
Do you just, like, run up and barge in?
Totally.
What do you do?
Yep.
Yeah? Just
Yeah,
run
she
in,
runs up,
shoulder
she
into it.
barges in because she wants to get into cover immediately, so she wants to get in and shut the door.
Okay. You burst in. The door goes flying open. You quickly wrap around. You slam it back shut. And you are in the first level, which is the kind of like the artifact / library part of Sekarak's tower. His great pile of pillows that he would lounge upon in draconic form. A small desk in a corner where he would work in his more elven guise. But you don't see him.
Okay. She's like leaning back against the door, trying to catch her breath. Vlad, Sekarak. She's like yelling out into the room. If she doesn't hear anything, she's going to run up to where she first appeared.
Okay. You run up to the second floor.
Yeah.
You see all the Myconids. And they're just working away in the laboratory.
Stool?
And then you...
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
Stool in there?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
I'll keep looking.
You run up to the third floor, and you see Vlad there, sitting at the small table. And he looks back and he goes, "Oh, hey, what are you doing back here? Why are your hands behind your back?"
She's like deep breathing because I think she just ran up a bunch of stairs, right?
Oh yeah, no, it was a huge ass
Yeah.
tower. Like, it's a workout for anybody.
Yeah, she like turns her arms enough that he can see that she's like manacled.
Okay. Let me see if I can do something.
Please.
He comes over and he's like trying to fiddle and pull it apart, and he goes, do you do well with heat?
What?
Just, if you can, arch your hands behind your back as far as you can and keep them spread apart as far as you can.
She does it, but she's thinking to herself, like, has he done this before?
It's like, here goes nothing. And he just like short draconic burst plasma breaths like through the chains, breaking the manacles apart. And then like quickly closes his mouth and he's like,
oh my, that feels so much better. And she like does like a big stretch. Vlad, we have to act quickly. What do you know about the Platinum Talon?
They're both the clergy and kind of like a police force of sorts. More just like peacekeepers. They don't really do anything violent upon orders of the king.
Something has happened. They have apprehended Scylla, Indigo, and Sephel.
What? Why?
All I saw was part of a missive that indicated they were charged with murder.
What? But I saw you guys like an hour ago. What the hell happened?
I don't believe it to be true. We had been traveling to Coalfire Keep, unable to get an audience with the king and queen. We witnessed, well, we heard a scream and went to investigate. When we arrived, we thought we were assisting. We were all torn apart in different directions, and then I find out that they've been apprehended by the Platinum Talon. I believe there's either been a misunderstanding or somebody did this purposefully.
Whoa.
Is Sekarak here?
No, he's down with the Myconids. He was talking with Stool. There was something about working on the Grand Zirkwood tree. Hang on a sec. And he walks over to like the big opening on that floor in the wall that like looks out onto the city below. He's just like, Sekarak! Sekarak! I need your help! The others have been imprisoned for murder!
Vlad. Discretion.
Well, I know he's gonna come. We just gotta let him know. And he turns back around. Lara is here!
Vlad.
She's here! She needs our help! Make a
Right.
perception check.
You should also know, Vlad, I'm currently being chased by the Platinum Talon. And you've just told them where I'm at. 17 plus... Actually, I think it's minus 1. 16.
You remember the long wall that used to section off this part of the city? You can still see it on the map.
Mm-hmm.
You see some commotion on that wall. And you can actually see that some of it's been deconstructed or in the midst of being deconstructed so that it's no longer sectioned off, cordoned off from the rest of the city. But as you draw closer towards where Vlad is as he's yelling out to Sekarak, you see that there is a flurry of guards moving near that construction site and a newly constructed opening in the wall. And you see the silvery reflection of what looks like Platinum Talon nearing those folks. And they seem to be discussing something. And then with Vlad's continued yelling of like, Lara's here, Sekarak needs help, you see their attention is drawn towards the tower. And now these figures are beginning to run towards the tower.
Vlad, do you see them there?
He like turns back towards you. He's like, see who? I'm trying to get Sekarak's attention. Sekarak!
Vlad, shut up. I need you to look right there. And she points.
He's like, I'm looking. I don't see anything. I don't know what your problem is. You asked me for help. I'm trying. Sekarak! Lara's here!
Can you stop yelling for 1 second? Are you telling me you do not see any figures at the wall?
At the wall? No, it looks like the miners are on break. It looks like some people are coming here to maybe trade with Sekarak too. I'm sure he'll take care of them and send them on their way, but we need him here.
The Platinum Talon. Do you see the Platinum Talon coming this way?
I guess. I don't understand. Why is that a problem?
How long will it take Sekarak to get here? I am telling you, the Platinum Talon are the ones that have apprehended your friends and colleagues and are coming to apprehend me. For a crime I did not, well, technically I did commit that crime.
Wait.
I just technically have committed that crime.
What did you do?
I read a royal missive. I know. It's incredibly dangerous of me.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Why would you do that? And the Platinum Talon doesn't imprison anybody. They don't have that authority.
Well, they did do it. That's what I'm telling you.
Lara, are you okay?
She's like getting a good look at him now, and she's like, I am just fine. Vlad, are you going to help me or not?
Lara, I don't think something's right here. The Platinum Talon doesn't imprison anybody. They would inform the guard of that. And then the king would be informed and he would take care of things. But you're breaking open royal missives and I think it's perhaps better if you just wait here until the Talon arrives, and then we'll sort everything out, okay? But just you need to stay here.
Can I roll an insight check on him?
Yeah, go for it.
That is 11 minus 1 for a 10.
It's enough to see that, like, he's not necessarily believing your story now, but something's definitely wrong, and he's starting to think something is more wrong with you. Like, he's only known you an hour.
Yeah.
And he seems to kind of be, like, moving around to try and, like, block your exit towards the stairs in a way.
She's going to take a seat by the window, and she's going to, like, get her wrists out in front of her and start rubbing them, and she's like, you're right. It's been a long run here. We probably just need to talk to them.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Do you have anything to eat?
He,
It's been a while. I could just use nourishment.
Sure. Actually, Sekarak keeps some biscuits. I'm not supposed to know about it in a cabinet over here when he has
You're
his
eating,
tea.
and she gives him this look like a reprimand.
Listen, I get him more. And he goes over to this small cabinet and he pulls out like a sleeve of biscuits. And
when he turns back, Lara has flown out the window.
Lara, what are you doing? And he like runs towards the window, and you begin to fly away.
Yeah.
Sephel,
Yes.
you are looking at Sekarak's staff. What are you doing?
I mean, I take it. Am I able to channel my magic through it?
Mm-hmm. You can use it as a spellcasting focus.
Does the fall, even knowing my magic, do I believe I could have killed Sekarak?
You think it's entirely possible. Your eyes told you it. You hit him with a spell. He hit the wall and then fell 80 feet. Like, he's older. But you are welcome to
I'm just
go and inspect his body.
Yeah, I'm going to, cause the thing I'm hung up on is like his true form is a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the one, like that one bit of knowledge is like not sitting right. So yeah, I'm gonna go look at his body.
You grab his staff and you begin to make your way down the stairs, and halfway down you are stopped because Vlad stands in front of you, and he's got tears running down his face, and he looks incredibly upset and angry. He goes, "What did you do? Why did you do this? How could you?"
I don't.
And now you're trying to take his staff? Give that to me. You don't deserve it. And he tries to take the staff away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you let him, or do you fight him?
I let him, because I'm more concerned with checking the body.
Are you hesitant about it? Like, do you fight him at all? Like, even
No,
a little bit,
I
or do
think
you
I just like I think he's like in my face and like takes the staff, and it just like he slips it out of my hand and I just walk past him.
No, you stay away from him. Don't you go near him. You've done enough. And he looks over towards the Myconids and he goes, go get the guard. Go get help. Quick. And some of the Myconids begin to run out of the room and down the stairs to the first floor.
Can I investigate the body?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and roll investigation or medicine.
It's a 27 investigation.
He looks dead. His neck is twisted. It looks like there's some broken bones. There's enough glass peppered him in quite a few places. Like, there's not a ton of blood, but there's blood pooling on the floor beneath him. And Vlad, like, at this point, kind of throws the staff to the side and goes into his wormling dragon form. And he's, like, trying to step over Sekarak's body and like, hisses and roars at you, trying to keep you away from him.
If he's dropped the staff, Sephel's going to pick it back up. And he's going to just start walking back up the stairs. And he's going to turn back to Vlad at the top, given that he doesn't stop him.
No, he's going to try and bite you when you go for the staff.
Okay.
So that is it's probably not going to hit you an 11.
Because I have no gear, that is my armor class.
Oh, okay. So you take.
Oh, sorry.
14.
I will because I can do this. I will. I'll shield.
So he goes to bite at you, and you shield, and he bounces off of it.
And I just wave my hand in this magic that's been crackling around him since he cast it at Sekarak. He just pulls it up in a wall between him and Vlad.
And he's like continuing to bite against this shield, and it looks like he's just going, like you could just hear his angry thoughts. And he's just like, I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you! How could you? And it doesn't seem like he's going to stop attacking you.
Yeah. He just continues into the chamber with the circle, and he is...
You just grab the staff and you keep casting shield as you're going.
Yeah. All that he needs to, and he's just walking across the room, looking... I imagine the look that he's giving Vlad is this... Given their relationship and given their meeting, and it's disgusting the amount of apathy that he probably looks at Vlad with. Just this unfeeling, unrecognizing, unacknowledgement of the anger and pain that this Vlad is throwing at him. And he's going to meet his eyes and say,
I cannot feel sorry for what I do not believe. But in the off chance that you are the one real thing I have seen today, look for the stone.
And he falls backwards out of the tower window.
And as you fall out, you just see Vlad's plasma breath just out that window. And we'll see you guys next time.
So y'all, thanks for coming to the madness table. We have songs of innocence. If you want to download that, you don't have to. It's still there on your phone forever. Anyway, you can go on our Discord. We can chat about it. You know, you can ring me up there. We can have a nice chat. You know, that would be nice. And then you can get on the social media. You can like and subscribe. Yeah. And then if you go to the coffee page, which is spelled wrong, the way Sam would spell it, Kofi. Yeah, that's good. And then you can give us money so we can go to therapy.
Because
it's
there
good for us.
Much of that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a dead body? Anyway, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.